Hello, thank you for coming to my channel. Yes, if you've been here before, thank you very much. Without going into so much discussion, so much intro, today I want to speak about people who are adults. Okay, they're adults, but they behave like children. They behave like kids because they lack the right sort of enlightenment. They're not enlightened. They're not exposed. Okay, let's put it that way. They act like children because they're not exposed. You are living your life and there's so much involved in your life, and you live your life normal. The things that you do, you see them as normal things, but they feel that you are delusional. Okay, that your lifestyle is too big for you. Even if you think or feel it's not big enough, they feel you're faking it because they're not exposed, and they reason like children. Let's put it that way. They have the mental capacity of kids. They can't believe that you would be able to live that sort of lifestyle. Even when you don't say you're living that sort of lifestyle, they feel you're being fake because that lifestyle is unattainable by them. They can't reach it. So they behave like children around you. All right? When you do videos like these sort of videos that I do, maybe they see one or two things. They feel you're being fake. Come and show us this. Come and show us that. Bring the receipts of how much you bought this. Bring the receipts of how much you bought that. That's children. That's how kids behave. Alright? That's kids' mental. Even kids behave better. You know, that's the mental capacity of people who have no level of exposure. Maybe -0 level of exposure. That's what they have. So that's why they come after you and they start wanting to know how you're living your life. It's like, I used to drink wine on, just wine. Not really expensive, but around 11 pounds. And I'll pour a glass and sip while I'm making videos. And there were people who came after me at the time because they thought, she can't afford a glass of wine. That's the lifestyle of rich people. And I try to make them understand that you don't have to be rich to drink wine. Wine is just 11 pounds in the shop. You can get some for 6 pounds, 7 pounds when they're on sale. And you buy it, and when you're eating a meal, like Spanish food or Italian meal, like pasta and some seafood, you drink your wine. When you go to restaurants, you can pay for a glass of wine around £5.50, and you sip your wine in a restaurant. So what is an expensive behavior about drinking wine? It is affordable. So I almost went into various arguments with these set of people, and then I realized for a person to be saying that, it means they can't afford it. Alright? They can't afford a glass of wine. Even if they are able to afford it, they'll make a show out of it and let people know that they've bought it. To them, it is a big thing. And that is why they are disturbed that I was displaying that behavior, because they couldn't afford a glass of wine or a bottle of wine. They couldn't afford it. It was luxury for them. So this is the thing. So because their brain is not mature enough, even though they are adults and mothers and parents, how'd you call it? They couldn't rationalize their reasoning. They couldn't go inward and say, oh, I shouldn't attack this woman verbally on social media because she's drinking wine. Wine is cheap. I can afford it if I go get a job. They couldn't think about that. They couldn't say to themselves, oh, even if I can't afford this glass of wine today that this woman is drinking, I'll be able to afford it tomorrow or next year. Wine is nothing. So for that reason, they came at me and they thought I was delusional. Even when I spoke about the lifestyle I've lived in the past, they thought I was lying. I was delusional. So I stopped explaining myself to people. There were people who would come to me and ask me questions on social media because maybe my post was very larger than life sort of post, and they would come and interrogate me. So I used to explain, but now I stopped explaining. If you don't understand what I'm posting, or if they don't understand what I post, they can read it again or watch it again over and over again to understand it. I don't have to explain anything. So I realized that part. I said, no, I'm never going to explain. Because if somebody is too young to understand anything in life, they can wait till when they're older. This same applies to older people that can't understand anything. They can wait till they are able to understand it. But Becky is not going to do any explanation to them, especially if they keep having a go at me. So I stopped explaining why people drink red wine, why people why people go to university, why people learn new skills. Why? Because they were using those things to make fun of me. Oh, she talks about skills a lot. Oh, she talks about university a lot. Oh, she talks about books. She talks about job. That's because that's where my mind is at. They talked about, intimacy, XEXUL activities. That's what they were talking about. Boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm not preoccupied with those things. I'm preoccupied, my thoughts are preoccupied with things that have to do with work, education, skills, improvement, self-improvement, knowledge, awareness. I'm not preoccupied with those things, those wayside matters. That's how I call them. So I leave those things for people whose mental capacity is very low. And that's who they are. That's who they are, because they're constantly having a go at people who have worked on themselves to improve the way they reason. And they can't see that they're doing something wrong. It's like me now, I can't go and start going after Bill Gates or Elon Musk or one of these, people who, or Jay-Z or one of these people who reason very well. I can't go after their reasoning because they've seen a lot. They've been in a lot of places, they've met a lot of people, so their reasoning will be high. They will have a higher reasoning. I can't go and start attacking the way they reason and say, no, you're wrong, I don't think so, it never happened. Oh no, you're this, no, you're lying, oh, no. Because these are people who have achieved a higher way of reasoning. So this was what I tried to explain to some of these people. You need to work on yourself. I told them that they needed to work on themselves, instead of having a go at people who have worked on themselves and saying, you're delusional. Yes? Oh, I said I'm making video now.
Yeah, well.
So, I can't go and start attacking their intellect or intellectuality and saying, you're lying, you're this, you're that. That lifestyle you're living. Or somebody like Beyonce, that lifestyle you're living, Beyonce, is not true. It's not, no, I don't believe it. No, it's not true, Beyonce. When she has done a lot in life, she works very hard to be who she is today. And someone like me, I was just trying to rise up, and I had all these people who I thought were adults, but they were actually people with low mental capacity, and they were coming after everything I was doing. Yes, they did. They rubbished everything I was doing on social media. It is now that some of them have begun to realize. I'm like, so it took you this long to learn? Me, if somebody does something once or gives me the sign once or twice, I pick up and I say, oh, that thing is wrong, I shouldn't do it again. But some of them, it took me 5 years for them to realize that what they were doing was wrong. What they were doing to me was wrong. 5 years or more. Because they are slow learners. They don't pick things really fast. They are slow learners, and that's why they can't acquire any skills, any good skills, any level of education. They can't acquire. They can't work really hard and make clean money, because it's difficult for them to pick up anything. Because see how long it took for them to be aware that, look, what they're doing to Becky is wrong. It took them so long. And that's because they're actually toddlers. in the bodies of adults. So we think they are adults, but they are toddlers. They are really toddlers who can throw tantrums at any time and they don't have basic understanding. Period. Let's put it that way. Period. So since I realized that, I stopped engaging, and this is my advice to anyone out there. If you realize that wherever you are always the person who seems to be like the sober one, who seems to be like the one who is more in reality, and everyone else is not in reality, then you have a problem, because they're not going to get it. No matter how much you explain, they're not going to get it. Because this life, some people have to come into realization. You can't push people into realization or pull them into realization, because you are already in realization. You can't pull people towards you for them to realize. So they all have to come into their own realization. Even if you all stand waiting for the sun to rise, you will see the sun at different points and at different times, and you will understand the rising of the sun differently. Okay, this is how it is. But you still have a collective awareness, but you see the sun differently because you're different individuals. So I realized that instead of telling people, that's why I'm doing life coaching. Anybody who wants to improve can pay me, and I can teach them some skills, because I was doing all that for free on social media, and it backfired. I was left with a hole in my pocket until I realized, look, this thing is not taking me anywhere. I started stitching the hole myself. So it backfired. And when you're doing those things like that for free, you have people whose minds are not ready to come into realization, and they're gonna fight you. Fight you in terms of not exchanging blows physically with you, but whatever medium you're using to spread that awareness, they're gonna think you're doing them wrong, because they're not ready to accept it. They're not ready to accept that level of knowledge and that level of awareness and that level of realization. So their mind is in darkness. They are all in darkness. So they're going to be fighting you because you're trying to bring them to light. So they won't like it. And that was one of the things that happened to me on social media. Okay? So they are actually toddlers. Little feet. Toddlers living in adult's body. So you see them projecting themselves as adults. No, their brain is the brain of a toddler. Even a toddler has better understanding. And nobody's ready to take their hands and say, I must teach you, sit in class, I want to teach you something. No, it doesn't work like that. They're going to waste your time. They're going to waste your time. So if you're out there and you used to be like me, you were explaining, you were trying to make people see the light, come into realization, you are working around the clock to make sure everybody gets you. You really need to stop. It's not going to work. Especially from some of my people, or some of our people, if you're from where I come from. It's not going to work. It's going to take a long time for that to happen. It's going to take a lot of effort from yourself. You need to be very patient for it to work for you. It's not going to be instant, and be ready to have a backlash. Be ready to have people who are fighting against the good deeds that you're doing because you're trying to open their eyes or something. They're going to fight you. So be ready for that as well. It has the negative side. And then for me, or what I can say about this is, the best thing is just leave everybody to live the way they want to live, as long as they're not coming at you. And if you're engaging with anybody, engage with them based on their level. If their level of thoughts, just engage with them on that level. Don't try to put any knowledge in them. Just engage with them on that level. That's what I would do. I stopped engaging with people because, let me put it this way. If you are intelligent and you start engaging with somebody who doesn't have your type of intellect, they will feel that you are intimidating them. Okay? It will be intimidating for them because they can see that you have something that they don't have. And this is one of those things that have created issues amongst friends, amongst people, because one person seems to have a higher level of intellect than the rest. So they're going to make you the enemy. I'm saying so, and I'm speaking from experience. I've been through it. They're going to make you the enemy, and they will feel intimidated by you, and for that, it's going to come crashing into you. And you won't be able to fight it. It happens. So the best thing is just for you to do your own thing, continue working on yourself and pray for them to come into realization and awareness. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you again. Take care.